This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Support for things I found online comes from Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary skin-safe technology, so this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. Ow! Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. And don't use the same trimmer on your face as you're using on your privates. Unless you go in the opposite direction, it's just nasty. Oh. Manscaped also has the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. Insert giggles.
Yeah, I would have choked on that word, too.
You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code XXX at manscaped.com. Always use the right tools for the job. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code XXX at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code XXX.
20% off.
Let the show begin.
I feel shaved.
Love it.
Are you an addict? Is your phone in your hand before your feet hit the floor? Do your pupils dilate when you take a hit of hashtag wedding? Are you constantly craving just one more hashtag food porn? Tap to take the edge off? Is your hashtag Instamood Instafaded? Well, you are not alone. I am Jamie Alcroft.
Hi, Jamie.
And I am a Facebook addict. With us today are fellow online-aholics who are here to share their testimony. You'll find coffee and cookies on the table in the back. Please smoke outside and welcome our meeting moderator, Louise Palenka. Weezy.
Thank you, Jamie. That was brave. Joining us are Catherine Salzberg, Stephanie Novick, and Joanne Palenker, by way of full disclosure.
Nepotism.
My sister, nepotism. I have just put her in charge of the wall.
Oh.
Our panel is Jamie Elcroft. It was Middle East peace. So she's just going down her... Okay, beautiful. Our panel is Jamie Elcroft and Danny Mann. Welcome. Our guest, Stephanie Novick, boldly claims that she spends a stupid amount of hours on MLS. Does that have something to do with baseball or?
No.
Okay.
That would be the
Isn't
ML.
that what Lou Gehrig
I had MLS, yes.
You're conflating a B with an S or a BS.
Okay.
I love to conflate.
So
The MLS is the multiple listing service.
That's
okay.
right.
And that is given that I am a real estate agent.
Oh, you're going to try to sell us something
Yes,
today.
I will, or make you buy something.
That's right.
One of the two, because that's what
So
I do.
describe what comes over you when you become obsessed with the MLS.
Well, what happens is, first of all, in full disclosure, I have to be on the MLS. So it's not like I have a choice, because that's how I'm getting all my information about what houses are available and what things sold for.
So it's not like an ankle bracelet that keeps you there. It's your job that inspires you to be there.
Oh, there is. They do have
let's go with
jewelry.
that. Yeah.
They have a lovely bracelet.
Absolutely. What happens is it becomes an ankle bracelet because I shouldn't say you. I am speaking for myself, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm not the only one that this happens to. You can
put your hand up slowly.
You can get so sucked in to the information. It's just complete information overload. Because what will happen is, so let's say I have a client who's looking in a certain neighborhood, and I'm looking at everything that's available in that neighborhood. What also happens is, let's see what this sold for. Let's see what that sold for. And then I start going to who owns this, who owns that. What else can I find? It's what's for lease, and is the lease person maybe willing to sell? So it just kind of goes on and on and on and on. And I can literally be in that site for a hellacious amount of hours, where I'll look at my watch and my imaginary watch.
Stole it.
Yeah. My imaginary watch. I'll look at this and I'll go, I started this at 9 a.m. and it's 2 p.m. and I haven't moved.
So it's like Candy Crush because you're trying to solve a puzzle.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But it's also, there's something really, and I have to confess, I will sometimes go to other sites while I'm, something will pull me away.
Oh, no.
I'll see, I know,
Real estate
I
slut.
know,
Do
it's
they know
horrible.
that?
It's horrifying. I'll see some kind of information, and that will get me thinking, let me go to Zemus, which is the site where you can, here's a little tip, everybody. If you ever want to look up zoning on a property, ZIMAS.
Do I?
ZIMAS dot, I think it's dot.
World's strangest fantasy.
Look up zoning.
Zoning porn.
I'll look up your zoning.
Did you say zone?
You know, all kinds of ancillary sites that are real estate involved. I'll start to go to those, and then of course I'll start thinking about something else, and I'll think to myself, well, I better go on Facebook now, or just to see what's happening, or let me check my email, and then I go to my email, and
And then ironically, you fail to pay your mortgage and you get evicted.
not yet, but I'm sure that has happened.
Well, whether it's real estate porn, shopping porn, mommy porn, political porn, or even actual porn, it's designed to be addictive, promising to give you more of whatever it is you think you should have. Money, beauty, youth, sexiness, prestige, success, fulfillment, time.
What was the second one?
Forget about the time. I don't know. I'm not sure how you would get that unless some sort of time travel were involved. Who would like to share their testimony? What is your drug of choice? Anybody?
Porn.
No, you didn't even answer any of the emails, Catherine Mason Salzberg.
Wow.
So were you too busy down some rabbit hole?
I was busy trying to get my son off of his computer.
Fortnite?
So
his Zillow.
no, I have him
He was on Zillow, wasn't he?
No, he's not. He's not. So my job, as you know, I'm the parent coach, is to do everything I can to help kids get offline. So I encourage parents to not to get their children a smartphone, okay, until their kids can pay for it themselves.
Get him a dumb phone.
Get them a dumb phone. Actually, you know what? No, may I plug something?
Of
Sure,
course.
please.
So, my son had a birthday, and we just got him his first phone. Yeah, it's called the Light phone.
He's
Light
32.
Phone 2. How'd you know?
in her dreams.
So, yeah, in my dreams, he's 32.
But he still lives at home.
He'd still be there. You'd still be buying him a
Yes,
phone.
he's still, no, but the Light phone has it's just text and calling. No apps.
What does he say? What are his thoughts out loud about such?
Okay, great. So when we gave it to him, I was telling you, Steph, that there was not much of a response other than, what is this? And
Which is better than, I hate you,
we told
mommy.
him, no, we told him.
Where do you put the dime in?
So,
It's like buying a television
the
without
rotary,
a picture.
Right.
it's not.
What is
maybe
this?
you're right, but 2 years ago, my husband said. So he skis, and we were a skiing family.
Oh, you let your husband ski?
They all ski together.
They all ski together.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, no, they go up on the higher mountains. I like to stay closer to the bottom.
to the fireplace.
They're up there looking for phones.
Okay, so anyway, my husband had said, you're going to get your own phone. But we didn't tell him what kind of phone.
Tease.
But he was so great about it. He opened it yesterday and he just looked at it and he said, what is it?
Yeah.
And we said, it's a phone. And he goes, well, where's the apps? And we just said, there are none.
Not even Snake.
No,
No.
there's no.
No
Tetris?
asp.
No, there's no apps. So he just he went on YouTube to see if there was someone talking about the Light phone, and thankfully, it's a very cool guy talking about how cool the phone is.
Oh, Lord.
And I recommend it because
Now, how old is he really?
So,
he's 14.
14.
so this is a form of conversion therapy?
He's never had a
Is
phone.
that what it is?
It's his first phone.
You start with a light
I
phone,
see.
then you become a Catholic.
Catholic.
It's a gateway drug
So,
to an actual
It's a
phone.
gateway
Exactly.
phone.
But
Yes.
thank God there's a cool guy, because there has to be
Yeah.
a cool
There was
What
a
does the
cool
cool
guy.
guy
Sure.
say about this?
Has to be a cool
phone?
guy.
he says that, you know what, the phone was actually made, because you had asked me, Stephanie says, made for like really old people who don't know how to see the buttons. I said, no. The tagline on it is I think it's get your life back. It's for people who are addicted to their phones.
He's a doer.
So the guy said he got it temporarily because he knew he was addicted to his phone. Every day he would wake up, check emails. He had no idea that he was going to feel so great. He's had it for 3 years. And he said it's not for everyone, but for
he
those
has-
people who
Does
are addicted
anyone
to.
actually call him?
Mhm. Yeah, he has no friends.
So sidebar question here to the first comment.
You're going to have friends, son. You're going to have friends.
Oh, I know.
Talking about people
I think
being addicted, online and stuff, but yours is more about your work. I mean, because it's not like you're looking at fishing rods when you should be working. I mean, it's all connected to your work.
It is work related, because I work 24/7.
So where's it's not really addiction.
No, but here's the
really.
thing. I think, and this is why, when I first heard from Wheezy about doing this podcast, I thought it struck me that so much of what is coming into my feed, my emails, or the stuff that's online, it does feel like porn. Real estate porn is a very common term. You know, those shows, I don't know if you guys are familiar with those shows, $1 Million Listing.
Do you want to get me started talking about Log Cabin? Because you will regret it.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, Treehouse. I love the
Wait, you mean the
Treehouse.
syrup?
No.
No, Treehouse
It's a
Builders.
show
I like this, Sarah.
where
too.
people are shopping for log cabins, and I can't look away.
Oh, wait, is this the now?
It's
There's
sad.
something called tiny house. Tiny.
No,
They
log
build
cabin.
a little tiny
Tiny house,
house,
yeah.
or treehouse.
Joanne
Treehouse
watches
Builders.
them all.
I love Treehouse.
Joanne
Yeah.
watches
I did.
them
I've
all.
never
Yeah.
heard of these shows.
I've
No,
not
but it
seen
is
the log
porn
cabin.
because they
Right.
start the next show at the top of the hour before there's a commercial break, and now it's a new couple looking for a log
Yeah,
cabin.
you can't
You're
get
like,
enough.
Okay.
I have to make sure they find their cabin. So,
Oh my
yes,
God, you guys are
Right.
addicts.
you're transfixed.
You're completely transfixed, and you start to. It does so many things on so many levels. It gets you, first of all, feeling like, why can't I have that house?
I would like a cabin.
There you go. Right. Whatever it is, whether it's a $20 million penthouse apartment in New York.
Why can't I have that lean-to?
Exactly. Does it come with
Comes
cable?
with a
there's
lien.
You
something
want to make sure
very-
it comes
There's
with
a lien
cable.
against
There's
it.
a lien
something
against it.
That's a lien
About
against
real
that's
estate
right.
specifically, and maybe about a lot of these topics, there's something very aspirational where you picture yourself
100%.
living there.
Right. 100%.
And the
And
same
it's
thing-
supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's what entices buyers, which makes perfect sense. But I think there's a tendency to, like, if I wasn't a real estate agent and I was just sucked into the world, I would constantly be thinking, why can't I have this and why can't I have that and should I want this and how do I get that? And it's not just real estate. And this is what I think is so fascinating about the fact that the internet is a giant advertising portal, obviously, and that's not all bad, but everything that, again, that I see, I notice, the internet is telling me I either want to be younger, prettier, thinner, richer, right? More evolved, have more peace. When I said have more time, it's this is going to save you time. It's the 4-day work week. And it just kind of bombards you from what one of my friends refers to as face crack, because Facebook follows you. You know this, right? Everybody knows that Facebook follows you.
Facebook is following me right now.
Facebook is following you right now.
Yeah.
Whatever you're looking at on Facebook, there's ads that come in, and the ads are totally seductive.
Oh, yeah.
A la porn.
No, Facebook knows that I'm
you're
obsessed
clicking.
with backpacks and sneakers.
And log
So there you
cabins.
go. And don't you
They
click?
think I'm weird.
Don't you click,
But they
though?
know. No, I don't click.
Oh, you
What I
don't
like to do is, like,
click.
if Facebook says, "Oh, I know you like David Sanborn," I go, I
coffee?
open another tab. Well, if he's, or whoever's
Yes.
coming at the Moody Blues or whatever it is, I open another tab because I don't want Facebook to win, and then I Google Moody Blues or Jack Jones or
But
whoever's
Google
coming.
just won.
And you go
I
for
guess,
Cindy
yes.
Dolfer. Yeah, Facebook actually has a white van sitting out in front of the house right now with a cone on top of it.
All right, our producer Dina Friedman found a description of porn from a 10-year-old Psychology Today article that could be describing the experience of the typical modern internet user.
10-year-old writes for
10-year-old?
psychology
Yes,
today.
a 10-year-old is very precocious.
They don't even have phones.
Okay, so this
Beat
is
me to
what describes porn. Pornography, a lack of real intimacy, an absence of a genuine relationship, a relentless onslaught of high-intensity imagery, a certain formulaicness, a mechanicalness, an anonymousness, a compulsivity to our behavior, addiction. In days of old, we would refer to a car or a purse or a travel destination as perhaps sexy. But now that we can dangle those items online and keep you clicking and tapping for more, it's no longer just sexy, now it's porn. We've all heard the phrases nail porn, food porn, even word porn. So what does that mean exactly, and what is the deeper significance of the proliferation of this imagery through the internet? Is the outcome always empty? I'm going to argue no. For example, our current obsession with current events has turned many of us into activists. Typing hashtag goals may actually inspire you to reach some of those goals. My sister is obsessed with puppy porn. Don't judge. She is now fostering dogs. Joanne, could you confess your internet obsessions to us, please?
Well,
Hi, I'm Sarah McLaughlin.
I can't talk that softly.
This dog has been tortured for 24 hours straight.
I've been trying to analyze the roots of how all of this started, because the first time I announced to my family that, oh, guess what? I have a dog and I'm fostering it. They're like, I didn't even know you liked dogs. Like, it really just came out of the blue.
If they're done well.
With the right sauce.
With the right sauce. But it really started after the 2016 election, because I was so desperate for something lovable and cozy and, like
intelligent.
And intelligent. And I felt like goodness had sort of just evaporated out of the world. So in any event, like we were saying, you go onto Facebook, you click on one dodo, which you probably all heard of, which is the dog videos, and then they have you hooked. And next thing I know, I'm looking online in Greater Los Angeles for all the dogs I'm going to go pick up. And the first time I fostered a dog, it was great for like the first 24 hours, and then I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. I have to walk it, and it's peeing all over my house. And
We had to rescue her.
yeah, I was rescued.
She's a
by the
rescue
rescue
sister.
But the sites that I'm sort of addicted to, and I do volunteer at Wags and Walks in West LA, and I highly recommend them if you are looking to adopt a dog. They're a great facility, and I've fostered, I think, 2 or 3 times with them now. But in any event, there's a there's Wags and how can you resist that? Yeah, they're really a great facility. And I go once a week and walk them, walk the volunteers. No, I walk the dogs. Another site I'm completely addicted to, even though I don't know who named them because it is so long, but it's called 100 Plus, the plus sign, Abandoned Dogs of Everglades, Florida. Don't ask
And
me.
they cut that down.
Yeah, that was the
You
trim
should see the
version.
original.
Long title.
She's still
And they
saying it.
have
That's
videos
abbreviated.
daily of the dogs that they're rescuing, and it's just like, it makes me just want to get on an airplane and, save them all. But then my family would have to come save me if I did that.
So between you and Louise, you're addicted to Dog Cabin.
A little bit. That's exactly right. But in all fairness, I found the cabins before Louise, but we both got there. Unbeknownst to the other,
And it's
we both
a
ended up at
dog-friendly
the cabin.
cabin.
Yeah, we ended up at the cabins.
Something genetic. She's also obsessed with her next topic.
Yeah, well,
And I think what we're finding, what she's getting to is she's looking for goodness, because we just don't have a lot of warmth and compassion and pure goodness right now to look at.
oh, that's a lot of crap.
And so Joanne has been going to sites.
Ask her.
She's concerned about her
Language.
Danny's foul mouth, but she's been going to sites where people are parenting autistic children and then sharing their progress. Do tell.
Yeah, there's some amazing sites. I have learned so much. I actually feel like I am the parent of an autistic child, which is completely unfair to say because it is such a challenging job. But I've learned so much, although I probably know this much. Fathering Autism. It's a family in Florida, and they are just so amazing. They have a 14-year-old girl named Abigail, who is nonverbal, but is just full of personality. And really, before I go to bed at night, instead of reading a book, I want to see how Abby's day went. It's like, oh, she had a bad morning. Oh, and then, it's like, no, but then they went to Walmart and she was okay. And, she loves to swim. And I just don't know if there's something wrong with me that I'm so attached
Get
to
her a
these
dog.
people.
You're too damn nice. That's
Well,
what's wrong.
But I'm just lying in my bed in my pajamas with
that's
it.
not an addiction. That's
Yeah.
a
No,
love
I think
for
that's
something.
really
So,
sweet.
Yeah, so
And then Finding Cooper's Voice is a family in Minnesota. She has a very high presence on Facebook, whereas the other one is on YouTube. And her son Cooper is 8 years old, also nonverbal, and they've been working so hard to get him to be able to just, make some sounds, and just watching his progress is, oh my God. So that's sort of, that's that's what it is. It just kind of fills your heart.
She's absolutely the nicest person on this
No,
panel.
I'm kind of an asshole. But this is probably why I'm drawn to this stuff, because I can lie there in bed doing
This
nothing.
makes up for the rest of your day.
Exactly.
But I actually think exposing ourselves to this content, and it's shared because the parents want to share it.
Yes, true.
When you're somewhere and you encounter someone who's behaving in a way that's a little bit disruptive, we're just a lot more understanding because we're thinking, oh, well, maybe this parent has challenges or this child. And so I think it just opens us up to be more accepting.
Yeah. And Joanne's fostering compassion.
I'm fostering
You really are.
Yeah.
On all levels, you're fostering compassion. I think that's wonderful.
That's why Louise allows me to be here.
I just
I'm
have to say,
fostering Danny.
move over Mother Teresa, because that sounds like you, babe.
There's a woman in L.A., Joanne Laura, who has a dance group for autistic children, and it does wonderful things. And I taught comedy sports at a high school for 7 years, and which is improvisation. And we had a couple autistic kids that came out basically with the improvisation because they were able to be other characters, not themselves. And that's what I'd stress with them. I'd say, now get a voice. Let's find a voice for you. Let's find an accent. Okay, now you're this person. Now go out there. And so they would go out in character and they would be much more free and talkative and engaging because they were somebody else. They could step outside of themselves. And that's what dance does. That's what art does. That's what music does for autistic children. So that's really, and Joanne Laura, you should, maybe she has a website, I'm sure.
We could Google, well, she needs more things to.
Okay, okay, you do. You need more things to check out.
She's already down to 4 hours of sleeping.
I have a website. You could check on my day if you like.
I would.
Would you please? Okay.
Because
I thought I put in the Tin Man Diaries every day, and so you can check on me.
All right. Before we go to commercial break, any other obsessions that I should know about, or that you, because this is the time to confess. If you're going down rabbit holes, Danny, don't pretend you don't go. We know you go.
No, I go.
Danny,
I
you do.
absolutely go. But mine are kind of straightforward. I'm a huge hockey fan, so I'm on NHL. It's one of the only apps I've got on my phone is NHL.com, the hockey news, and then I'll follow it through with some of the Canadian outlets, which usually have better coverage. I'm a big music.
They always do. They have better health coverage too.
Big music fan. I'm a big music fan, so I'm on YouTube watching, videos of old songs and stuff. And then I go, oh, who's that artist? And then I'll get onto Google and I kind of rabbit hole onto that. But it's all. I'm a crossword fan.
Oh.
So I have websites I go to after I've done them to see if other people had problems in the same area of the puzzle I did.
If they're as stupid as you are.
Yeah.
She said, "Are they as stupid as you
What
are?"
about the?
Thank God she doesn't have a mic.
Yeah,
She's just talking in the air.
that's why we didn't give her a mic.
She just word shamed Danny.
Yeah, that's
Well,
cool.
I'm addicted to Facebook.
Yes.
I'm on a Facebook drip right now as we speak.
You are a
Yes.
Facebook drip.
Thank you very much. That's how I've been
You're
described.
being Facebook fed intravenously.
Just because I love my own species.
Am I the only one not on it? I'm not on Facebook.
I'm not on it. Only for my work. Only
And
for
it
my
was,
work.
and it was.
That's amazing. 1, 2,
It was
3,
a
4,
New Year's
5, 6 of us.
resolution last year to get on it this year, and I've got about a month left to actually do it. And I really think I'm going to.
We're here to help
I think
Danny
you should.
because now that you have a weekly podcast, you really should be on Facebook. Also, since everyone knows that Danny is one of the funniest people that Danny knows,
It was
Not
just
now.
it was just a random poll.
it would be a
No, wait.
it would be a gift to the world
Yeah.
if you were waxing humorously on Facebook. And I can just see the battles between you and Jamie going back and forth.
man.
Why
we'd
does
have
everything
fun.
have to be
Yeah.
a battle?
Not a battle, but fun. Just kind
A
of
repartee.
What's it called?
Repartee.
Repartee or banter,
Banter.
if you will.
May I banter one thing before we go to whatever we're doing?
Banter.
Banter
I don't
away,
even know
baby.
it.
Just on a slightly sad note, that one, they pardon 2 turkeys every year. The White House, it's official.
Butter.
But they only pardoned
Who-
turkeys that were war criminals
Yes.
No, but this is
this year.
You're gonna
They take their wings away from them.
This is sad.
I'm sorry, Danny.
I'm
Do
sorry.
go
No,
ahead.
they grant them clemency. They don't kill them, and the president pardons them. But one of them did not want to go to the White House and committed suicide.
Turkey side.
And the Clintons are suspected, by the way.
Yes, yes.
As they are in all suicides.
The Clintons are suspected should be the end of every sentence.
That's great, though. They desert the Kurds, they cage children
But
at
not
the
the way.
borders, and then they pardon a turkey. And he managed to fit like politics into the turkey pardon speech.
Oh, yeah,
Did you watch it? You're
He
not on
did some
Facebook.
shift shaming.
I got what I wanted out of the
It
story.
was shaming, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's break for commercial, and it's a good commercial. Enjoy it right now.
We will.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris.
I'm Beth.
And I'm Matt. Join us every Wednesday for Wasting Time, our podcast where we talk about pop culture, life, and our favorite things.
From the movies we love to the TV shows we're obsessed with.
And from politics to parenting to whatever else is on our mind.
Give us a listen each Wednesday and then find us on Facebook and Twitter to tell us what you're loving.
We're part of the Big Heads Media Group, and we can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and wherever else you find your podcasts. Come waste some time with us.
We're back.
I could listen to them forever.
Stephanie is here, and she has shared her links of choice, but she says that she mostly subscribes to emails. So there's like MailChimps that you get, right? And email lists, and she scrolls through their blasts, and we will let Stephanie narrate through these sites.
Please.
Oh, this would be.
Thank you
Like
very
David
much.
Attenborough.
I'm so excited. Are they going to appear somewhere?
Oh, they may.
They may.
So, well, in
Look on
addition
your
to my
phone with no apps.
why these natural gas stocks can't win, there you go. So, Motley Fool is a investment site, and they have these newsletters. And I'm going to see if I can find it on my email. Every header, every enticing,
Tease.
thank you, the tease.
Sounds like
Once again, the word tease, right? Every, just to bring
Are we
it
on
back to the
password?
porn element.
on the
But
cob.
every tease is something that makes you think, oh, I'm going to get rich, or I'm doing something wrong. So, of course, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Something incredible just happened. Right. It's always something
Motley
like
Fool
that.
says
Or
that, yes.
this $7 stock could change your retirement. So you're constantly
Sounds
being
plausible.
Yes, it is right. $7, right? $7 in
But the word
in
could,
Apple.
Exactly.
But this is really funny. So it's all, and again, nothing against Motley Fool. I'm sure it's a very effective service for many
they're
people.
very reputable.
Right, very reputable. But
Motley
they do these crazy long form letters, so that it starts with what the tease is. It's the $7 stock that's going to make you $1 million in your retirement, or it's the $7 investment. Because, everybody knows you can turn $7 into $1 million like that, right? Sure. So you read this letter, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And at the end, that's when they say if you subscribe to, there's the investor newsletter. There's all kinds of newsletters.
Business
and
Week.
They're usually $200, but just today,
$7.
special $7.
So it's like a drug dealer.
It's a drug dealer. Exactly. Exactly.
But you're interested in investing.
I'm very interested in investing, and I'm fascinated by all the advice and all the various suggestions that they make. But there's so much information that you have to crawl through.
Well, skip ahead till the end.
Skip
I'm just
ahead
saying.
till the end.
Yeah.
But then you what I'm told is you invest, or you purchase the one newsletter, and apparently you only get a couple of recommendations, and then there's more newsletters. There's this one and there's that one, and again, this is nothing. Motley Fool.
It's like Candy Crush.
Fantastic.
Level 7.
And there's never enough. There's
Yeah.
it's that never enough. And what's the secret to making me a millionaire? What's the secret to making me young, skinny, gorgeous, whatever? It's all the same.
You're already there.
Yeah.
What if we told you
Thank
that
you.
you're enough just as you are?
Yes.
Then
I
these
might
things
cry.
are like
I might have to cry.
These things are like, oh, well, you're perfect, but it'd be nice to have a gumdrop. Or a piece of candy, or a Hershey's Kiss. You don't need it. You're already nourished.
Right.
So maybe if we just frame these differently, this is not something that you absolutely have to have. You're fine. You have plenty of nourishment. You have plenty of love. You're plenty beautiful. You have a beautiful warm. Every night when I say my prayers, I start with like my physical presence. I think. In my head, I do.
I had such a
thank
Hallmark
God
vision
for my,
in my mind.
my soft, warm bed, and then my beautiful room, and then my
In her
lovely
log
home.
cabin.
I do that too.
beautiful.
Because I feel so blessed to have these
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
these
Norman Rockwell
gifts,
things.
and anything beyond that is really just extra. So I think maybe if we look at the internet that way, then we can pull the desperation down. Like the puppies are okay.
I don't think anyone's going to, that's not going to motivate anyone, though.
Well,
you
I
have to
was
have the pain points.
right.
You have to know that I need to know that I need this.
They want you to think that you absolutely
But I
need
do.
it. And
100%.
I'm saying they can't control how you think.
Well, they're not doing.
You control
But
that.
it's not. But it's
The
not
internet is not doing anything different than newspapers used
Right
to do.
about that.
Than
That's what we're
radio
talking
used
about.
to
That's
do.
right.
advertising.
And
Yeah.
the TV, it's all doing.
yeah,
the
like
same.
Danny, he sent away for the see-through glasses.
Yeah.
You know, because
The
he just-
X-ray glasses.
Yeah, the X-ray glasses, because he just thought
and the monkeys.
it's the only way I'll ever see a naked lady.
I can't believe you're still wearing that lingerie.
And then you grow up and you realize, oh, I'm a grown man. I can see naked ladies. You know, so that that's the secret to life. Like eventually, you'll figure out how to do things without cheating.
Clark, take those glasses off.
So let's go on. What about Investopedia?
Same thing. It's a place to go to look for investment stuff. And what starts to happen is you click on so you can see like there's all these different articles, and you can spend hours because I want to know what I need to know about my 2020 taxes. Of course. Again, these are really helpful. They're very helpful sites. And they are very educational, and you can get a lot of valuable information there. But I think there's this line that you can be in danger of crossing when you get sucked into this stuff. Because it's one thing to say, oh, I'd like some specific information about a specific thing that I don't know about, right? A chuckle is coming.
A chuckle is coming because none of them can explain Bitcoin.
Well, nobody
in this room.
I think Lane and Thomas can
Oh
explain.
my God,
Correct.
it's just hysterical.
Lane says no.
Correct.
No.
Thomas says no.
No.
All right. Well, what I want to say is that, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot these sites can teach you if you're smarter than them. It's like when you go
100%.
gambling, when you go to Vegas, you say, all right, well, when I'm $5 up, I'm going to walk away. Then you get to go see a show and know that Vegas didn't shake you down. Like you have to be smarter than the table.
You have to have some self-discipline and some boundaries. You have to be able
Settle
to.
in.
Thank you.
You have to be able to just say, I'm done. And that's the hard part. I mean, how many, I every day it's a battle of when the phone vibrates or I got to check the email. I got to check the text. I mean, how many, I have my mother-in-law will say, you got to text. Because the ding will go off in the other room. I say, I know, it can wait, it's fine. But I feel the pressure of, I know that she, at any moment, I'm going to wrestle her down to check my phone.
Aren't you going to get that?
That's right.
They all want to send you notifications. I turn
day long.
all of them off.
You turn them off.
They're there when I want to look at them. I don't have
You're
to
in
be
control.
interrupted.
But I think you are the rarity. I think I agree 100% that we need to be able to monitor ourselves to say, I'm done. I'm not going to be looking at this stuff. I'm going to, schedule my time and such that for an hour in the morning and maybe an hour in the afternoon and maybe an hour at the end of the day. But I think that most people, because of the nature of this beast, because of the shiny colors and all the images and all the stuff
And
that
the ease.
exactly.
easy.
And we were talking about this in the car. It's all advertising,
ride
which is
shared. How
fine.
cool.
But before the internet, advertising was something that you only saw in the evening for the most part, because you'd come home, you'd splot in front of the splot. Is that a word?
Splot. It
You'd
is
now.
splot.
Now.
You'd splot in front of the couch, and you would turn the TV on, and you'd see some ads, or you'd pick up a newspaper, you'd see some ads. But now, because people are so immersed in their online lives, because we are constantly, I say we, culturally, this is not necessarily any individual.
The royal we.
The royal we, exactly. But we are culturally completely dependent on the phones, on the emails. Everyone's doing business that way, no matter where you go, every country. This is global. This is not just L.A.
Which is why I think Kate's making the right move with Eli and his phone. Let him learn
1,000,000%.
self-discipline before he gets something. I mean, we all supposedly learned self-discipline before we got our phones because phones weren't invented when we were growing up. But we're still slave to it. And I'm just saying maybe one of the things we need to do is to just continuously say the mantra every day, I'm enough, to sort of buffer yourself from all of these temptations to believe that maybe I would be more if I clicked or tapped here. So,
but you always want something you don't have. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if that's going to impact your son at all, because everybody else has the apps. All his friends have the apps.
I wasn't allowed to watch TV during the week as a kid, so you craved it.
You craved it.
It's a great point you make, and how can I respond to that? Let's see. I'm so numb from being beaten down by the.
Well, first of all, you can let him out of the trunk of your car.
I can.
I think it's a good idea. I'm not trying to beat you down. I'm trying to elevate you.
I can respond to that. So growing up, not everybody had a phone in their room, right? You had many people had phones in their room.
No.
Not everybody had a phone in their room. So I think everything is about presentation. And if it's just, this is the way it is. And he said, all my friends have one, and he gets
Go
that.
live at their house.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. It's everything is about, speaking of the internet, it's about sales. In parenting, it's about presentation. So when it comes to, I said, I love you so much that I want you to be able to go outside. I want you to be able to be, present for this and that. I don't say present him because that's an abstract idea, but I want you to be present for it. No.
You got to be present?
He thinks he's going to get a gift.
Yeah, exactly.
You say the word
present.
I want you to be
I want him to be able to go, by the way, he will be on, and because I'm working with parents all the time, he would be on that computer. Every kid would be, if you let them be, all night long.
All day long.
And so all day long, all night long, it's very hard. We're talking about just extricating ourselves from the Facebook or whatever it is, but for them. So with him, I just say, you know what? You're great. Your friends have phones. He's called me. He borrows their phones, to call from, where he's at for the weekend if he's with a friend on at a party. And so we told him yesterday, guess what? You can call now. You have your own phone, but you have no apps. Mm-hmm. And that's just the way it is. And when you make it clear, that's just the way it is, you're not going to get a lot of pushback. Was that helpful for anybody?
How does he do in school?
He does pretty well in school.
Yeah. Is it because you're afraid he's going to waste his time on these apps? And that he doesn't have enough self-control to govern himself at this age? Here's
the thing. I appreciate the question.
Yeah.
It's not so much always about the kid. It's what you're talking about, Stephanie. It's about everybody coming into his world.
The environment.
It follows
exactly.
you.
So, it's hard. Parents will say, well, I had a mom the other day say, I want my son to be self-governing. Okay, that's fine. And I asked her, I said, well, are you, and she said, well, I'm having some trouble losing weight. Are you able to keep on your diet? Are you able to get off Facebook at the time you want to? This is a 40-year-old mom who can't draw any of those boundaries for herself in the way that she'd like.
Right. Put up a wall.
But yet she wants, that's actually a good idea. But she will leave her kid. I said, you need to get the computer out of the room. She goes, I want my kid to make his own. I want him to know that I trust him. I said, well, don't trust him. Why would you trust him when he has the whole world at his fingertips? Because he doesn't go anywhere. I monitor it 2 months. 2 months later, I'm looking. So 2 months later, but that's insanity. But I will tell you that the parents I know that have blocks on their kids' computers and they're in public places, they can look and see where they searched. It's all the same. Everyone's searching for the same. Every young porn.
Say it louder.
The actual.
That's
porn. Now,
to me, and it's invasion of privacy of my children.
Well, when your child is
look
8,
to see where they've been.
Well, okay, I appreciate that. So I'm not saying go hunt. I'm saying as a parent, you need to know where your kid's going online, just in the same way you're going to know
where they're going to a party.
That's exactly right. I'm not saying go in there and micromanage the heck out of your kid and go, what are you doing? Where are you going? That's not.
Now you're yelling. Now you're yelling.
But
no, she's just talking in all caps.
Oh, I see.
Well, one of the things about them looking for porn is that a lot of the porn is really disturbing, and they won't come to you and say, "Oh my God, am I going to have to hang from a trapeze and have a monkey lick my whatever?"
Oh, I saw that site.
Because they're not going to ask you the question because they don't want you to know where they've been. So it's better if they just don't go there until they're ready to understand that this is designed to shock people, and porn is designed to be increasingly
enjoyable.
Not necessarily enjoyable, but like more and more like.
Did I say that out loud? Did I say that out loud?
Freaky, I think would be
Boy,
the opposite.
this is giving porn a bad name.
So I don't know. Girls are. I mean, I hate to make sweeping generalizations, but I wasn't interested in looking at any of that stuff. So I don't know if what you find with girls. Maybe I think a lot of girls are curious to know like what is sex, and am I going to be able to do it, and what's going to be expected of me, and all that. So they might want to go and see like what is sex, and then they see something and they're like, holy crap, like I need to, where's the nunnery?
I need to work out.
You're not going to.
But it's just too much, right, Kate? It's too much.
You're not going to protect and you're not going to protect your kids from everything. It's not going to happen. That's not the way. It's not life today.
Right.
However, you need to know what they're ready for. You know, what's age appropriate. You just want to prepare them for what they see, that they're able to. You know, it's like kids 8, 9, forget 8 years old, but let's say 12-year-old boys that are looking at porn. You know, what is that? Now that they have these expectations that women are supposed to be like this, yada, yada, yada. So you're not going to be able to protect your kids from everything. It's just, as I said, it's not realistic. But in your own home, it's very important to at least do what you can to not make it like, like they're going to the fridge to get whatever they need.
A question that might come from some of the parents you talk to. So given those circumstances you were describing, of keeping certain things from your kid or their kids, or is there at what point though, like where all the kids are doing a certain thing and that's the common sort of, they all have that in common, where your kid is not allowed to, does that become an issue of like, well, all the other kids, and it's not something egregious, but it's just, people, you can't wear your skirt that long or whatever the thing is. At what point are you, making the kid different? Like, oh, he's the one that her mom won't let. Like,
setting them up for shaming.
That's
basically.
Interesting now
I think
because
you should start with shaming.
It's like it's interesting because so much of kids now, their social interaction is online, so it's like it's a tough line because it's like, oh, did you see the new TikTok? Did you see that Instagram video? Like you're to a certain extent you're alienating a portion of their social
That's what I'm kind of
life. So it's like, how do you
that,
balance? Because it's like, I'm not saying that's good. Like kids shouldn't have all of their social interaction online, but that's kind of where it's heading, so
if we let it.
Right. So it's like, how do you keep?
But
I think that's what Catherine's
the cat is kind of out of the bag with that. Is what I see with kids, and I don't have kids, but I notice. Like with
there's a website.
You can go shop.
Can I get
you
it?
Can foster
you can
them,
get one. There is. You see kids interacting with each other. I mean, or not interacting with each other because they're all. It's like we've all turned into apes. We're all doing this with their phones all day, and this we've lost it already. I think on a certain level, culturally, societally, and. I think you're absolutely right that kids would feel, kids would feel alienated and
left out.
FOMO. Exactly.
So let's ask this question, Kate, because this is asking for a friend named Eli.
Well, let's move it to another kid. We'll be done with my kid. When
might a 14-year-old expect, if he gets a job, let's say at 16, and if he saves up the money, at one point. Have you and your husband discussed at what point might he earn a phone? And then, because I think at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, take the phone. You go in your room, think thoughts. You don't have to be in a constant conversation with everybody. You can miss the person. But at what point might he expect to receive a phone with
wedding
applications?
Gift. It's a wedding gift.
Wedding gift. It's in his dowry.
First of all, there's no cookie cutter, answer for that, right? Every kid, your own kid. Every kid is different. And I think what you want to do is just you must teach them like online etiquette, how to be responsible with that. And then I think it's about you want to teach your kids that everything is possible, but nothing is free. When the phone is in your hands,
I like that.
It's not a toy. In our hands, it's not a toy. We're using it for work. But right now, kids are in chat rooms. They're all over the place. And so, but in answer to your question, I think it really depends on. It's about responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're giving your kid an iPhone, the newest one, and they're not doing any chores, something's wrong. You're giving your kid the message that you can have this and parents replace it when they lose it. So it's about a lot of things. That phone is a great opportunity to teach your kids, to appreciate something, and that's your job. So I think, at some point, when I coach parents, I say that, if you want your kid to have that phone and they're 12 or 13, then have them pay for that and the monthly bill.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they're out of the house, our job as parents is to equip our kids when they're out of the house to be in the world.
All right, well,
and to take care of themselves.
We're gonna talk about
Yeah.
travel zoo and travel sites because my sister Joanne is one of her little hobbies is to go online, and when I travel,
When does she have time?
When I travel with Joanne,
She's laying in bed. She travels a lot.
I want to tell you when we go somewhere, we have the best tour guide. She's looked up everyone's Yelp ratings and she knows everyone's background check, and we know we're gonna be met by the guy with the coolest van with cup holders and air conditioning, and because she researches and it's fun, and so I think that it's kind of opened up travel to where you don't have to just go somewhere and then see what's open. You can kind of plan ahead, but it's also aspirational, isn't it? When you get stuck on a travel rabbit hole.
Oh, completely. But I, in full disclosure, Amy does a lot of that. That's another sister. So I have to,
addict.
Do a call out to her. But you're absolutely right, because when I'm looking for the perfect inn, and like, is the air going to be moist? Like I'm trying to get the ambiance, the feel of the sheets.
What's the cotton count?
Yeah, what's the cotton count?
Thread count, yeah.
Where there'll be dogs.
What does the lobby look like? Have you ever looked at the lobby of a hotel and go, yeah, I don't think so. So it is another rabbit hole.
Yes.
You've never done that?
No. Can't judge a room by its lobby.
I can.
How did that not catch on as a phrase?
I don't know.
We went to Canyon Duche and we get there and it's owned.
It's just Canyon
it's
Duche.
tribal.
Yeah,
It's tribal land,
Yes.
and it's so the guides are all. What was it, Navajo Nation? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
Navajo. Yeah.
So we get there, and
It is.
And the guy says, "Well, I'm going to be your guide. I'm Peter." And Joanne said, "Oh no, we signed up for Aaron. Aaron." And she shows
How
her
did that make
phone, and he's
Peter
got
feel?
5 stars. And the guy was
It's like the
"Well, this
Oscars.
is my cousin Aaron." And I'm like, "I think they're all named Aaron. I don't know. We're getting a bait and switch." And I think it ruined the whole day for her because we did not get the real Aaron.
Excepting for
The
Aaron,
reason
Meryl
it
Streep.
ruined the whole day is because Aaron went with another group, and they refer to everyone as their cousin.
Bait and switch.
And the cousin that we got didn't know how to drive a stick shift Jeep.
We got stuck in the sand.
Yeah, we got stuck in the sand. We were pushing Aaron's cousin out of the sand. So,
Also named Aaron.
and he was as high as a kite. So.
It was low to peyote, probably.
Kept showing them her phone. This is what I booked. The original Aaron. So it's adorable. But she makes sure that we have all really good experiences while on. Like, I never worry about it. When it's a whole family thing, I just never worry about it. We just wake up and we go, and then it's all taken care of because they've done the research.
And you don't like traveling either.
I hate it.
Liberation.
So that makes it palatable for you.
I like being home. Yeah. Home has 5 stars. So
Have you seen the lobby?
By the way, Louise lives with Aaron.
Aaron. So we're fostering Aaron. So Dina, get your microphone ready because this is this is Dina's corner.
It's your moment to shine.
So Dina did some homework for us on the pornification of America.
Yes. So when we started talking about this topic, I was reminded that I read a book a few years ago, and I actually read it right after the 2016 election. So it was before even like the inauguration. And when I read this part of it, it kind of just gave my I got goosebumps because it was so
scarily prophetic.
Yeah, so this book was written published, I should say, in 2008, and it's called The Porning of America. And there's 2 authors that are, I believe, both university professors, Saracino and Scott. And
I've seen their movie.
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe not.
Okay, so here's the first thing that the first quote from the book. Porning can be understood as a cultural metaphor that applies to areas apparently disconnected from actual porn, such as, for instance, political punditry. And then they talk about Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh and even Bill Maher to an extent, and how the fact that porn's imperative kind of matches theirs in terms of continually pushing the boundaries and continuing to shock and upset people, and like giving people more than they want and more than they need in order to kind of get, a reaction and make an impact. And then they concluded that that part of the book by saying, it's just funny because it's like amazing how they hypothesize that based on how internet porn continues to push boundaries, so there is likely a model of metaphorical porn in the political arena who will be even more excessive and whose, quote, outrageous insults and calculated humiliations will upstage even those of Rush Limbaugh, etc., end quote. So it's really incredible because...
What year was this written?
This was published in 2008.
Wow.
So it's incredible, obviously, because it's so prophetic, as Louise said, but it's also like any of us could have seen it, if we were really looking, and we just kind of let everything just slide. We just kind of scratch the surface of everything that's happening around us, and we're not paying attention, So it's just a reminder that we should be paying much closer attention to everything that's going on, to kind of maybe possibly do something to prevent
or push
worse things from happening.
It's going to come back and kick us in the ass.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what happened.
Did the book have a centerfold? Yeah.
What I like to say is that
yes, it was Nostradamus.
I think what's healthy is balance. And sometimes you can find yourself sliding to the edges in reaction to the other edge. And so when you find yourself sliding to an edge in reaction to the other edge, push yourself towards the center and say what we really need is reason, decency, kindness, balance. We just need to be reasonable to have a healthy society. We don't need to win. This isn't a football game where one side wins at the expense of the other side. What really is the healthiest aspiration is to want the other side to do well and to want everyone to do well. So with that, we're going to go to Facebook Feed Time, which is my own post. Titled, Joe Biden Hugged My Mom.
Oh my God.
Look, he touches everybody.
No, but my mom...
This was wanted.
My
this
mom
was booked
is
ahead.
Can I just tell you, they were holding hands and he said, "May I hug you?"
See?
It makes me cry. Oh my
So
God.
that's why I'm
recent?
basically crying in the background.
That's
So if you scroll through the posts, look at the one of me with Joe, because I'm a little bit disturbed by my own behavior,
too?
and I'd like to, by way of full confession, tell you that I do not remember putting my head on his shoulder. I remember lifting it because I was afraid I'd be wrestled to the ground by Secret Service, and I had no idea how it had gotten there. But I think that I just kind of received him sort of like as the cavalry or the Red Cross, or I don't know. It was
Aaron.
Grandpa.
It was
You thought he was the answer.
yeah.
When was that taken? What were the circumstances? How did
We went to a fundraiser for Joe Biden, and I brought my sister and my mom, and it was at a lovely home, and he gave a very inspirational speech. And why are you laughing at that?
Well, she's laughing at something she's looking at on her phone.
There you go.
This is something. This is.
But it was like in this sort of political climate, he just felt like the angels of mercy. It felt so good to be in his presence. And so, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm always an optimistic person, and Joe Biden doesn't have to be your candidate of choice. He's mine, but I just think that we're going to pull out of this if we all want the best for each other.
Well, you talk about things I found online. I discovered online, and as a lot of people did, I think this story's out and about now, that he was a stutterer as a child.
Yes.
And that has contributed to his proclivity for malapropisms and stumbling over his words and perhaps finding the wrong word at the wrong time. So they're making either excuses for him or they're justifying his behavior which doesn't bespeak of a man as intelligent as he is, and certainly as accomplished as he is, to misspeak as much as he does. And
as opposed to Trump's eloquence.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I don't think he misspeaks all that often. I don't think the debate stage is his venue. Conversationally, he's perfect.
But
and
the stuttering is what has contributed to that. And they've had other stutterers who they've interviewed, and they say we run into the same thing, that we can't come up with the right word at the right time. And it's because all of our lives we've had this impediment where we struggle to speak.
I would just like to say Don Lemon did an interview with Joe Biden last Friday night. Maybe it's 40 minutes, I'm not sure, but it really, I think, shows the man. He's in a one-on-one situation. I think his answers are brilliant, and if you're curious or you want to see him in a forum that he is more of who he is, I would recommend watching that.
Yeah, I've watched that.
If you're Biden curious.
If you're
Yes.
And now we have what's Twitter trending today was hashtag Tina Turner. So why was hashtag Tina Turner trending? Well,
What's Tina got to do with it?
got to do that.
Oh, really?
Guy Woods tweets, the older you get, the more you realize it's not what happened, it's how you dealt with it. Happy 80th birthday, Tina Turner.
Love Tina.
And then Tina, you can scroll through these. I can't remember which order I posted them in. And then Tina tweeted,
yes, I'm 80. What did I think? How did I think I would be at 80? Not like this. How is this? Oh, well, I look great. I feel good. I've gone through some very serious sicknesses that I'm overcoming. So it's like having a second chance at life. I'm happy to be an 80-year-old woman.
Yay.
Yay. Happy birthday, Tina. I would love to thank our guests, Coach Kate Salzberg, Stephanie Novick, Joanne Palenker, and our panel, Jamie Elcroft and Danny Mann. Our producer is Dina Friedman. Our tech team is Lane McFadden and Thomas Hubble. Our sound mixer is John Maddox. Our webmaster is Bill Filipiak. I am Louise Palenker. We will see you next week. Be safe, be well, be kind.